everybody? Welcome to Taco Talk Tuesday. Y'all excited to be here?
So excited.
I'm excited to have you guys here. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Start on at the end.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Yeah. I'm Brandy.
All right. I'm Logic Collins.
Ben Kaplan.
You guys know me, Jeffro, whatever you want to call me. How's you guys' weekend?
It was great, man.
It's really good.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do? Anybody do anything exciting?
I got a chance to rest, man. I got a chance to rest and drink. You know,
That's always the best combination.
So, yeah.
Drank all weekend.
Drink. I was with you drinking on Friday.
Entire
So
weekend.
it was
Friday,
great.
Saturday, Sunday. Didn't realize it was a bad decision until Monday.
Is it a bad decision?
It felt like it when I was at kickboxing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
felt like a really bad decision.
How about you, Ben?
I had a shitload of company in town, so not less drinking than I normally do on the weekend, but ate like shit. So it was fantastic.
Equal.
Yeah.
Right. What did I do
Yeah.
this weekend? I had a friend in town. Oh, happy birthday. Janine was my friend's birthday. She came in town, hung out
Happy
with
birthday,
Brandy and Natasha on Friday. Saturday, I was drinking, so I don't. What did I do Saturday?
So you don't remember? It all goes together.
Oh my God. We did something Saturday. I know we did. And Sunday was my chill day.
Yeah.
All right. So, what we do here, you guys, everybody has a shot glass in front of them. We're
Oh,
going to
wow.
grab it. We
It's
always
not like
start
to
with a
start off a
shot.
party.
This is how we start.
Hey,
It's a
cheers.
mystery shot, so
I
we
need
do not
all
know.
eye contact.
Eye
please.
contact.
Oh,
I am a
yes.
single lady.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, that was a real robot.
I mean,
Delicious.
Okay.
my.
That was real nice.
All right.
Skits first
interesting.
turn.
All right.
No
So-
idea what flavor that was.
This was mystery shots. So we're gonna jump right into hot topics, you guys. First story we're gonna talk about. So, Ebony Magazine, they have just released. Well, they haven't released yet, but they have posted their new cover for the November issue of Ebony Magazine. It is a copy of the Bill Cosby or the Cosby Show
Ooh.
as a shattered glass, almost like a shattered image, shattered picture.
Take it.
And this, it doesn't come out till October 27th, but the image has already, gone viral. Folks have been talking about it. The editor-in-chief, she sat down on Wendy Williams to talk about that. So we're going to look at what she had to say about it and then come back and talk about it.
Okay.
We decided that we had to take this conversation to the public stage. It's something that, quite frankly, Black people have been talking about for a long time.
Bill
Ebony,
Cosby?
We've been talking about Bill Cosby. We've been talking about the impact on the Cosby Show.
Right.
We've been talking about how this affects Black families and the dynamic,
Yeah.
the depiction of Black families. I mean, it's a larger conversation. Ebony is not the reason we're having this conversation.
Okay.
We have to get real.
Okay.
We have to get.
All right, yeah. So as everybody at this point on planet Earth knows, Bill Cosby, he's been accused of alleged sexual assault against about 40 or so women. Some of the women recently, about 2 weeks ago, sat down on Dateline on NBC. They spoke out about their situation, allegedly what happened with Dr. Cosby. And since then, he hasn't really said much about it. What do you guys think about the cover?
It's a sensitive thing to me because I grew up, like I'm sitting here right now because of programs that Bill Cosby produced. Cosby Show, A Different World, all that stuff. So it influenced me from an early age. I would get lost in the world of the Cosby, his programming from Fat Albert,
Right.
I think it's a sensitive thing, especially for Ebony Magazine, and I think there is a certain amount of respect that I hope that they give to this article, especially in terms, not necessarily in terms of Bill Cosby, but in terms of the Cosby Show. Because I think the greatest thing for me is how whatever happened to Bill Cosby affects the great things that he's done in this world, like the Cosby Show and A Different World and a lot of other programs.
I know
that he
Malcolm
did.
Jamal Warner, he recently released a statement, finally speaking out about it. And one of the points that he made was he was sad that all this happened because it would leave the Cosby, because it's no longer syndicated on TV. And he was saying something about the next generation, how the Huxtables would just be a fairy tale.
Right.
Because they're not going to see this growing up because they're not playing it anywhere.
That's the
Shame.
It's the truth. I know it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. Is like all the good that all the media he created. That I don't know. Bill Cosby used to be like this wholesome person, or at least our view of him, and everything he made did so much good, and now that's all this shit's come to light, allegedly, but
But I feel like no one is really talking about the real issue. The real issue is there's two things, I feel like. First of all, if they wanted to do the cover, that's fine. Okay. Could they not have put him by himself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To shatter an institution
Right.
like
Yeah.
the Cosbys. I feel like they were attacking the black family. That's what I feel like. I feel like if they want to do it to him, that's fine. But to have everyone else in the picture with him is a complete different thing. And it's
But
destroying
you
the
notice in
institution.
that break, it looked like it's directly over his
It
face.
is.
versus
It is, and
the
it
rest
should
of
have
the
been by
family.
himself. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's a good
It's
point.
fine.
That
But
is a good point.
now you're saying something about the black family that I feel like is not right. First of all. Second of all, whatever happened to Jared Duggar?
Duggar,
What-
Stephen Collins, the guy from
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, not Jared Duggar, the Duggar guy.
Duggar, yeah, the son
and
guy.
then Jared
Fogel. Yeah,
the Subway guy.
Mm.
But they
Like, no one's talking about
Jared
that.
Fogle, his thing, I guess that touched or inspired people was weight loss. Bill Cosby
Right.
created a family.
But it was
a
it was a family show though. Like it's not him. Dog the Bounty Hunter, he had his moment. His show is back on. Like every other person, I feel like they separate the person from the character.
Mhm.
But now that it's Cosby, I feel like if he did it, I don't know. I honestly haven't done my research to even bother to know if he's
Right.
done it. Fine. But I feel
It's
like they're just
just-
taking it too far.
Well, you know, I think it's one of those things where it's really important, and I'm adamant about this, that you separate Bill Cosby from the program that he created.
Right.
You can't judge the Cosby Show based on Bill Cosby because it's. I don't even want to say based on Bill Cosby because that's like saying he's guilty, and I don't know that. There's all, like you said, allegations. But like you have to separate. I think not just Black America, but America in general, because I think it educated the nation. You have to separate, or else if you can't find a way to, it's really, 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 really detrimental. You know.
But we all know why
Mhm.
it's not being separated. That's
Yeah.
what's not being talked about, though.
Yeah.
That's what's not being talked about.
Yeah, I agree.
Anybody
But
else?
Could you?
It's
I
never,
agree.
It's never separated.
I agree.
I mean, it's separated. This time, it's not
But
separated.
now, okay, when is the last? I mean, I guess unless you have a personal copy, when is the last time you watched an episode of the Cosby Show since these allegations came out? And when you watch
within
it,
the last 3 years, probably.
this just came out like this year though. But
Right,
I'm saying,
that's what
like,
I'm saying, within the
but
last
no,
3
since
years.
this came out, have you watched
No.
an episode of Cosby Show?
I haven't had a forum to watch it on. If there is, I'm not knowledgeable.
I don't think
of the
there-
forum.
there will be one anymore.
Right, if I'm scrolling late night and I see it, then I'm stopping.
I
And so
agree.
you could
I don't-
watch now and still separate Dr. Huxtable.
Definitely,
from
that was my
Bill Cosby.
childhood.
Yeah, I can separate R. Kelly from the musician that sings. It's the same
point.
person.
Chris
So-
Brown,
Very
so
good.
the whole nine. So like I said, I feel like they're crucifying him. Whether he did it or not, if he did it, then he deserves whatever consequences come
But
to
he
him.
had at least 40 women.
I don't care.
It's
Pretty
alleged.
damning.
I don't
Alleged.
care.
You know, that's. It's not
I'm
like
not-
one or two people.
mean-
I can
But
find
then-
80 people to tell you that the sky is brown. It don't mean the sky is brown.
I
don't know how
don't
many people
question.
say it.
I don't
but-
question his guilt or innocence. I
Yeah.
really don't. That's
Yeah.
not that's here nor there to me.
Okay.
I don't care. If he did it, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
If he didn't, it's disgusting
didn't,
that they're
it's disgust-
crucifying him like this. But that's neither here nor there. I still would like to see Rudy say, "Baby."
I know that's the worst part. The worst part for the whole
I
thing.
want to see it.
Yeah, the worst part is that it affects the entire cast. Like
Right, and
their
that's
money.
what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking
I mean,
about.
I know at least
Separated.
3
it's not
out of
right.
They're not getting
got
any of that
jobs, but
syndication money
they're not getting that
anymore.
syndication money.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's a shame because can you, as many actors, singers have gone through
Yes.
heinous situations, has it ever affected anything? Have they pulled shows? They pulled Dog
I mean,
the Bounty
you lost
Hunter.
endorsements.
Yeah, but they didn't pull your show. They pulled Dog the Bounty Hunter for a couple seasons.
I just saw
A
Paul
se-
Dancing with the Stars. So,
Hello.
you know,
Hello.
I'm just saying.
Paula.
So that's my point. That's my
Right.
point. It's like we're missing the real issue. Where no one's
Okay.
talking
I
about
agree.
the real issue.
Right.
It's still deep under.
I agree.
Well,
I strongly agree with that.
As we have been doing, we'll continue to follow it. Anything else comes in, we'll be
Talk
talking
about
about
that
Bill
Duggar boy.
again. So now, moving on next, you guys.
Let's talk about
So
that.
the newest Star Wars trailer has been released, but it has not been met with complete excitement by everybody. So take a look at the trailer and come back and tell you what is going on with that.
All of it. The dark side. A Jedi.
So, social media movement using the hashtag boycott Star Wars 7 is accusing the film of pushing a multicultural agenda and engaging in white genocide, according to one of the tweets. One of the
So
tweets using the
ridiculous.
hashtag. One of the tweets said, boycott Star Wars 7 because it is anti-white propaganda promoting white genocide.
Foolishness.
The hashtag appeared on Twitter Sunday and Monday, objected to the fact that none of the main protagonists are white males. And the film is pushing a multicultural agenda.
Forget Han Solo, huh?
Right.
Yeah. And I gotta say, first off, as a Jew, I get pretty offended when anybody uses the word genocide for anything other than the systematic execution of a group of people. This is a fucking movie. So,
A movie.
first
Calm
off,
down.
wrong terminology. Secondly, you're stupid.
And it's so funny because I think people forget that George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, is married to a black woman.
Yeah.
So that's one thing right there. I'm sure he's probably like, "What is this? Is stupid."
Plus,
But go ahead.
multicultural agenda, that's to call that a bad thing. Multicultural includes everyone. White people are included in multicultural.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I fucking
It's about
love it. You know
time.
how since the fucking television was invented, we saw one fucking face on that mug. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think it's about time that what we watch in media, television, magazines, whatever, reflects the United States. If we're watching it here, reflects the United States of America.
Has
You know
anybody
what I mean?
seen an IKEA commercial lately?
You said
IKEA
Oh,
commercial?
IKEA commercial?
Like
No.
IKEA commercials, there's like
No.
biracial couples,
Mm-hmm.
same-sex couples. Like, get over it. It's here.
Right.
This is what we're doing. Get over it. Get over it.
I mean, I've never seen a single Star Wars
Oh,
movie.
shut the fuck
I've
up.
never seen a TV show. I've never seen any Star Wars
Jeff.
anything. However, I did take notice at this one. I was like, "Oh, we have a black lead."
This is the
And-
most diverse Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen
there's
the
been
trailers.
one black guy per trilogy. It was Billy D. Williams for the first three,
Okay.
and there was Samuel L. Jackson for the second
see?
three.
So you are a fan.
Yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan.
Listen, I think Chewbacca black. I think the Ewoks are black. I think
And James Earl Jones, he was the voice.
Oh,
of
yeah,
Darth
that's right.
Vader.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Darth
he
Vader
is
is
a
black
black
man.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
whole thing is like, welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome. This is what it feels like
Yeah.
forever, for centuries, decades, looking and seeing not you. Not you. Something that doesn't represent you, someone that doesn't
And it's
represent
not
your
like
culture.
the entire cast is
Of course not.
of color.
Let's not
No.
be silly.
You know,
of course
so-
not.
I mean, they have so many white actors that are added to the cast, like Adam Driver.
I'm mad that we're even listing off.
You know,
Yeah.
the
Can we
funny
move
thing
on?
about it, wait, no. The funny thing about it is, do you know how, like, as a black, you know how long we've been forced to watch faces that we don't aesthetically identify with?
Right.
Yet we still pay money, we still go to the movie theaters. You tell me Tom Cruise is doing an action movie, I'll go
I'm
tomorrow.
going to check it out.
You know what I mean?
Still got to go see Mission Impossible 5.
But like, how many? I don't see that many faces in. I don't want to say
The
top.
funny thing is,
I don't
I
see that
didn't
many
realize.
faces in majority black films. I don't see that
But
many
the
faces
simple
that
fact
don't look like me.
is
You know?
that when we talk about black actors, we have to name them. We're like, remember that movie, that guy that did this? Like, we have a cast of black actors that we choose from. The fact that we have to do that lets you know that this is not a regular occurrence. Calm down, let this one pass, and you have all the other 3,499,000 movies. Calm down.
Ben, you were saying?
Oh, I don't remember.
And it's not just
Alright.
not black. I want to see some Asians, some
Right.
blacks, Jews,
Don't
some
boy-
Latinos.
don't boycott Star Wars.
Well, no, the
Don't
thing
do
is that
it.
they've already sold out. Like, the movie isn't released until, it said December, I think. They've already sold out of the tickets. The internet, the movie theater sites crashed or whatever because so many people were trying to get on.
Good.
So, nobody's worried about this movie making its money or not. So-
Probably the people who are really into it don't care. They're
Exactly.
somewhere playing
I didn't-
video
I
games.
see,
but
I-
they don't care.
I've kept up with all the casting. I've watched all the trailers for it. I was not aware. I had not put much thought into how diverse the cast was until I read this stupid article.
It just looks like a fucking good movie.
Yeah, it looks like a great fucking movie.
All right, so moving on. So, why does this always happen? Okay, so Usher, he just released his new video, excuse me, on Tidal. So Usher's new video confronts racial injustice like you've never seen. Usher, he released his song called Chains and sat down with Gail. What's Gail's last name? Shit, how do I forget Gail's last name?
Is that Oprah's home?
Oprah's Gail.
I know her.
Sit down-
Oprah's Gail.
Oprah's
That's
Gail.
all.
Sit down
Oprah's
on CBS with Gail.
It's just like one name.
Oprah's
Gail's
Gail.
last name.
Oprah's Gail.
To talk about the video.
Gail
So
Winfrey.
let's play a little bit of that interview.
Yeah.
We'll come back and talk
Right?
about it.
Are they not married?
It comes at a time where I think the entire planet is seeing what's going on in terms of the social injustice in America and the idea that racial bigotry is really diminishing lives of families in America. The technology came later on when I came up with the idea that in order to fix the problem, we have to face the problem. So the technology, as you said, provides that when you look into the eyes of the victims, you hear the song and you begin to make a connection, and that empathy, that compassion is what I hope is fueling America to really address this
And if
issue.
you turn away from it, then the video stops. And you're saying you have got to look at this video to really
To
capture
fix it,
it
we
all.
have to.
Okay, so in an effort to make people think harder about the racial divide currently happening in the country, the video activates a viewer's computer's webcam to scan and identify the viewer's facial features. The second the viewers look away from the computer, the video stops playing. This way, viewers are forced to face the close images of 8 people of color and the details of how they died. The individuals in the video include Trayvon Martin, Rika Boyd, Cesar Cruz, Ramarley Graham, Kendrick Johnson, Marlon Brown, Andrew Joseph, and Sean Bell. So what do you guys think?
I think it's
I think-
great.
Huh?
I think it's great.
Genius.
I think it's
Yeah.
powerful.
I think it's
I think
definitely
it's powerful.
great. My only thing is, I'm thinking more so about the technology part of it. So that means when you're watching this, because it's released through Tidal, they're like looking at your camera, they're looking at you. They can see when you're not looking. So it's kind of like Big Brother,
Well,
Spy.
They already do
That's
that.
what I'm thinking about.
It's just like
They
a
already
facial
do it.
recognition technology. It's not like somebody's sitting there watching. It's like,
I feel like
he looked
somebody
away.
just sitting there just watching.
No,
like,
nobody's
They
doing
going through your
that.
computer and all your
No,
shit while
but
you're
it's-
stuck
but they
in
do
this
It's
it
video.
good
anyway.
because like I know like sometimes like I'm watching shit online and I'll put it up and I don't even realize like I have 2 monitors at my computer. I'm looking at something else and I realize I didn't watch the fucking video. This is the kind of thing that you need to give attention to, I mean, and I don't know. I think it's great because I think more artists need to be more socially active and like I was in a conversation with someone watching the Academy Awards last year and she got pissed off because everybody's giving their thoughts on social commentary. She's like, it's an award show, why are you doing it? And it's like, this is you have to use your platform as an artist to
Wait,
be
you're talking about
socially conscious.
The people at the awards? Or
Yeah,
oh,
and
okay.
like people were speaking out about Black Lives Matter, about feminism, stuff like that, and that's what you have to do. I feel like as an artist, if you have the platform to do it,
Not just when you're selling mixed CDs, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should do it then too.
I agree.
You just
I
don't have
agree
the
with that.
platform.
No, I agree with that. I watched it, and I think that there's something powerful about what he created. I think you should make gang members, you should make police officers, anybody who possesses a gun and is killing people, watch it. Because what's that saying? The eyes are the window to the soul. And I think they captured that really well because I think, and I tried it. I looked at it, and there's a moment I looked away and I lost that connection. I looked back into the eyes, and you see the soul of somebody, a live human being that doesn't exist anymore because of gun violence, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And I think when you start identifying them as human beings that exist with souls,
Right.
there's more respect, to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, it's good because they put, just a short blurb in there, of how that person was killed and their name, so you know their names. And the fact that it stops and doesn't move until you finish looking at
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Brady,
Wow.
you got a thought?
Wow.
yeah.
All right, you guys. So Sandra Bullock, she is also in the news. She recently sat down during an interview with BET for her upcoming film. Our Brand is, what's the name of this thing? So Sandra Bullock, she has a new film coming out. Our Brand is Crisis. I'm sorry, there we go. And she sat down and they asked her, her 5-year-old son, adoptive son, who's black. They asked her a question if he is aware of racism, and she said that he's absolutely aware. He's 5 years old. He may not understand all the complexities of race and racism, but he's definitely aware of them. We'll take a piece of her interview and come back and talk about it.
Understands what that means. He doesn't understand why people judge each other based on color of the skin, but he knows they do. He also knows that there's sexism. He knows that there's homophobia. He knows a lot for a 5 3/4-year-old. But I think if you don't start the conversation very early on, you're doing them a disservice. But it exists, and I want him to be safe, and I want him to be aware. You know, once he leaves that house and I'm not with him, it's his life, and how he approaches it is his decision. But I want to know that I did the best.
So again, she said that her son, he's aware of racism, sexism, homophobia, and so it's been a lot of mixed, I guess, criticism, reviews, whatever, because is it too soon for her to be talking, to her son about it? That's one thing that people were tweeting and saying about it. But then also the fact that Sandra Bullock is a white woman with a black child. Is she the right person to speak to him? Is she giving the correct message to him about it? So what are your thoughts?
Well, the fact that she's aware, first of all, because I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but I feel like sometimes people get into interracial relationships or adopt kids of a different color, regardless of whoever they might be, and they're not educated properly on social issues, on cultural issues, and I feel like she's absolutely doing the right thing. She's doing the same thing that a black mother would do. Being aware that you have a black son who will be faced with these obstacles, how could that ever be wrong?
I mean, I think it just shows how much, I don't know, is it times that, because I can't remember being a child and my mother having to speak to me, about racism, about sexism, and those are things that I personally did not encounter just growing up. I've always had friends, different backgrounds, ethnicities, and everything, but it seems like now it's like you have to talk to your child about that. Like now you have to, as soon as you can, as soon as they understand, language, you have to educate
which is
them on
sad
that,
because
which
we're
is
supposed to
very
be progressing,
sad.
right?
Yeah.
Especially if your child is a young black boy.
Right.
And I hope she identifies and knows that he could be one of those, you know what I mean?
I actually
He's
read
not
an
too far
article,
removed.
and she does, and she's very aware.
Good.
And applause to her.
Good. Kudos.
All right. Anything? All right. So, guys, moving along. So, Jim Webb, he has dropped out of the presidential race. And then there were four. So, Jim Webb, he ended his bid for Democratic presidential nomination today at a press conference, telling reporters he will reconsider an independent bid. Speaking at the National Press Club in Washington, he argued the Democratic Party has moved away from millions of dedicated, hardworking Americans. Here's a piece of his withdrawal, and we'll come back.
I accept that my views on many issues are not compatible with the power structure and the nominating base of the Democratic Party. Its hierarchy is not comfortable with many of the policies that I have laid forth, and frankly, I'm not that comfortable with many of theirs. For this reason, I'm withdrawing from any consideration of being the Democratic Party's nominee for the presidency.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. Bye.
He wasn't giving much anyway. Did you guys watch the Democratic debate?
I did not. I did.
Missed it.
But I also remember a long time ago, before these debates, he referred to affirmative action as state-sponsored racism.
Well, he was a Republican before.
Yeah, he referred to affirmative action as state-sponsored racism. And then he retracted it and said, "Oh well, I'm in support of like African Americans having affirmative action, like we're the only minorities that exist or whatever." I think he said something about when they asked about him being a Democrat, he supports the traditional Democratic Party.
Yeah,
and he used
the
the word
original.
traditional, so we all know where that comes from.
The original.
So bye. I don't even want him in the election.
The only thing
He's
I
black.
remember about Jim Webb, I do remember him switching parties at some point in history, but during the debate, all he was doing was crying about how he was not getting enough time to speak.
The same.
That's the same guy who was like, well, I don't get enough time.
Well, he didn't want a baby as a president.
The whole time he
anyways.
was crying about not getting enough time.
You got to take your time.
Right.
You got a president that waits.
You saw, Bernie and Hillary, they were all up in there.
Yeah.
Don't be a baby.
Well, he has a military background, so they were saying that, this was basically strategic strategy. Like, he knew he wasn't going to win, so he exited on the basis of something else to make it seem like it was on his own volition.
And you could correct yourself. You could say, okay, I don't want to be a Republican, I want to be a Democrat. Yeah. But you got so many times to be correcting your parties now, It's just all over the place, man. Gone.
Again, bye.
So,
and then also, it's nothing official yet, but word is that Vice President Joe Biden may be throwing his hat into the race for the presidency.
Has there been any more news on that?
They
other
said
than
it was
maybe?
well, according to CNN, we're supposed to hear something by Thursday, but
He
we'll
said
see.
he will not be rushed.
He will not be rushed.
will not
All
be
right,
rushed.
so you guys, up next, this coach, Coach Joe Kennedy, he's in the news because he defies orders and prays on the football field. So Bremerton football coach Joe Kennedy knelt on the center of the field as he prayed. He and his players, they after their homecoming victory on October 16th, this was last Friday, despite being told not to. The school district issued a strict letter to Kennedy hours before the game warning him not to pray after the game. Coach Kennedy has been walking to midfield after each game for years and kneeling to pray. He said he was first inspired by watching the Christian film Facing the Giants. In September, the school opened an investigation to determine if Kennedy's prayers violated the Constitution. Not long after, the school banned Kennedy from his ritual, and they didn't take notice to it until players started coming out with him and praying. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, if they told him not to do it, I mean, it's a public school, I'm assuming. And that's because if it was a private school,
I believe it is a
would be
public
an
school.
issue.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that he did it. Like, I don't think he's a terrible human being, but if you're a teacher if you're an educator at a public school, I mean,
We all have rules.
the law is the law, you know? And I gotta say, you know, as growing up Jewish, I went to a private school for a while, and they did pray in school, and I felt very much so like an outsider all the time. To this day, other than live on the internet, I don't typically tell people that I'm Jewish.
That's the best time.
I mean, he shouldn't have done it. I don't think he's a terrible human being for doing it. I understand the reason he did do it. I mean,
Definitely.
he feels that he got to the place he is because of God, and that he wants to recognize God for.
And that leads, so Kennedy, he spoke to reporters about his decision to continue praying. He explained that he was thanking God for everything he had done for him and asked him why he chose him to be in the middle of this national debate. And his quote is, "I was thanking God for everything he's done. I don't understand why you picked me for this. There are so many other people who are much more qualified. I'm just an average guy. If this is the last time I was on the field, I'm going to give him all the glory."
I love that brother. I salute that dude. I love him because he didn't say, I want the team to pray. I want anybody to He didn't force anybody to pray. He waited till the players left the field, if I'm correct, and he went on his
He waited
knees
till they
and
left the
prayed.
field and he would do them. So
You don't have to stand watch and pray. That's on you. He didn't force anybody to do anything. You know, I think there's a special place in heaven for that cat. I think he's inspiring. I wish more people would be like him because this country can be very hypocritical with things like that. Because the minute bombs are being dropped, the first thing that we're doing is praying. You know, I think we got a picture of each president in prayer, like from Ronald Reagan to Obama now. You know. And I mean, you hear all the time about these kids getting hurt on the field, like.
Right. I just feel as long as he's not forcing people, and
Right.
Which he did.
But if they issued a letter telling him that it was against policy,
Exactly.
It's
It's
a-
a public
but-
school, and there is the law, separation of church and state.
Church
I mean,
and-
he's not forcing them, and even the team captain, who's agnostic,
Agnostic, yeah.
said he, participates,
Yeah.
and it's more of a thing of team solidarity than,
But he was, for a while prior, this is the homecoming issue, but he was going to the field after their practices when the players, you're done, you're released, you can go, going to the field when he thought he would be by himself and praying, which is something that he could do.
Yeah.
But the players, they started joining him. And then after the games, when he would go out there on his own, the players, as well as people in the stands, they were joining him in that
didn't
prayer.
ask, though,
He didn't ask. He didn't force them. He wasn't saying, if you guys don't come out and pray, that I'm going to kick you off the team, I'm going to bench you or anything. Everyone is doing this in their own free will.
Well, I feel like everyone has a choice, and he made his choice, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. But I mean, he knew what was going to happen. He did it
I think just
anyway.
leave.
Good for you.
If you don't want to be there, leave.
I agree. I agree.
Tell that to Kim Davis, but not this guy. Tell that to Kim Davis,
Yeah.
but not him. Like,
no, I think
he's not forcing anything on anybody.
He's not, but if it was
forcing
against
religion.
regulation,
Yeah, and he was previously asked not to do it. He was given a letter where they told him, don't do it again. And like, he hasn't been fired. They said that they want to come to an understanding with him.
which I don't think. Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did. It was after the game. It wasn't mandatory. It wasn't encouraged. Fine. However, if it is against policy, what do you do? I mean,
Yeah.
I
But-
could state a lot of things that I feel in my job that I don't want to do or I do want to do, and it's completely and utterly up to me on whether I want to do them or not.
I can't even count on my finger how many times like during a shooting or whatever we've paused for silence.
For sure.
We've paused for meditation. We've paused for prayer. Like you can't pick and choose that. You know what I mean? Even in schools, you can't pick and choose. Like
you can't, but they
either
did.
You're with it or you're not. You know? Yeah, but like the minute the school gets shot up or another school gets shot up, the first thing that they're doing is falling on their knees and match whatever it may be and praying.
But
so if you're gonna pick and choose, like be solid with it.
Then I feel like then he should sue or something. I don't
know.
But
It says that the school district, they sent him the warning, and it says strict adherence is required and expected, and violations cannot be tolerated. The district forbade him from praying in public or mentioning anything religious in the locker room. They also banned him from kneeling or bowing his head. The district also demanded that his inspirational messages to the team be secular.
My whole thing is like he couldn't have done it like when they went home.
Yeah, see, like I do feel bad for him, but he did break the game.
But technically, the game is over. He's off the clock. He's no longer, at work. The game is his job is done.
The way I read it is that like the game just ended. People are still leaving the bleachers.
Yeah, people are leaving because the game is over.
But there's still an audience in front of there. He's still on public school property.
Capacity.
Yeah, he's still. If he left, even if
there's
it was the parking lot, I feel it'd be better.
That if people would do on their off time, that wouldn't be okay.
Have they taken God out of the Pledge of Allegiance? One nation under God.
No, but they don't say the Pledge of Allegiance at school anymore.
I disagree. I disagree with it.
Well, and I'm fine with you disagreeing with taking it out. If that's how you feel, that's fine. But we're here. Yeah,
exactly.
We're here. Here's the rules. You couldn't have prayed like in an hour from now. You couldn't have prayed at home.
It was they won. He was just on his spirit. He wanted to just get it out.
Yeah.
Nope.
He could have made a silent note. He couldn't have looked up himself by himself and done a quick one. Got a quick one off.
But why should you have to? Why should you have to?
I feel bad for him.
You couldn't.
I think the Bible trumps as far as being
not to
Christian.
everybody.
I think but to him, and it's his religion. Religion is a very personal thing.
It is.
It is.
So other people.
He's got a stadium full of people still watching.
Those people personally wanted to join him.
But there's other people that
wanted to join him.
The Bible speaks about denying the Lord.
Somebody,
why should he have to wait and do it in private when he can
if
do it
this
right
is an issue,
there?
somebody took issue with it and somebody reported it, and that person is right in doing that because
correct.
I would say the first time I would say maybe they're right in doing it, but once they found out that this man is not forcing the students or these people in these stands to stick around.
They went to like IHOP and then they prayed in IHOP together after the game. If they were getting dinner after the game,
that's fine.
And that's perfectly fine, I think. But he's still on public school property.
They told him not to do it.
He's a employee of the city.
And how tolerant would we be if it was a different religion doing a different thing? That's my issue.
But are they forcing it upon anyone?
He's not forcing it upon anybody.
That's not the point. But they told him not to. How tolerant would we all be if it was a different religion, though?
I completely agree on that.
That clashed with that one.
Yes.
Everyone else will be saying, do that at home. Leave that at home. We're not against it.
They say this country is founded on Christianity,
but don't do it here.
Exactly.
That's not fair. It's a double standard.
I think you're going to see a few months from now. There's going to be a major disaster, and the first thing you're going to see is everybody stopping for silence.
But stopping for silence is acknowledging. It's just reflecting. It's not. You don't have to pray during a moment of silence. You're reflecting.
They're going to do it at the post office.
It's a sign of respect. It's not like they're not asking you to bow your head and pray. They're saying take a moment of silence to reflect.
I think the disrespect is happening when you tell someone not to.
We could be praying to anything or anyone.
We will agree to disagree.
Yeah.
The two in the middle will agree to disagree.
I do want to say I do feel bad for him. I do feel bad for him because like I feel like his heart's in a good place. But the same thing, it's
all right. So we are going to move on, you guys. So have you guys heard of the People app? Have you guys heard of that?
Oh, such shitty.
Okay, so really quick, if you guys weren't familiar, so People app was like a Yelp, but for human beings. That's why it's called People. Where, you know how you review restaurants, with ratings and experiences? People could do that to you. Mm-hmm. Well, now there's a new app that it's reviewing, and it's apparently worse than People, but in a completely different way. This one is called The Know. and its purpose is quite simple: anonymously connect people so they can talk about a person they both know. When there's something you want to talk about, you begin by typing in a person's personal information, including their name, phone number, age, where they live, where they work, if you know the information, and even the make and model of their car.
Oh,
the
wow.
app has at least 20 different information fields that you can fit.
What's wrong with you? You participate in that. You're entering somebody else's information for one. God, that's.
I
didn't think it could get worse than people.
prayer to this right here. That's some
Oh my God, what are the
trouble,
reviews gonna say about that coach?
That's some trouble right there. It's like, do you remember that site? That was a site like a few years ago called Don'tDateThemGirl.com.
I was thinking of that.
Wait, what is it called?
Don'tDateThemGirl.com.
Don't
And you
date
would post a picture
Don't
of like
date
a
a
dog
girl.com.
ass ex or something
Yeah.
and list, and
Could it
girls
be
would get on
either
there.
guy or girl? Was it on?
No, it's Don'tDateThemGirl.com. Because
You
women are perfect. We do everything right, so there's no need to do it.
Except for Don'tDateThemGirl.com. That was the shittiest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it would
was
be
bad.
guys' profiles like, he don't pay for dinner. His feet stank.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
he in the closet.
I remember
Now,
that.
people though, one thing with this though, people, you can't opt out of the app, but that's only if you are aware that you are being discussed on the app.
So then
you're
you
not
still
aware.
have to go access the app, even if you don't want to be a part of it. You have to
Exactly.
go support the app by going on
Downloading
there,
it, yeah.
giving their site traffic,
Right.
downloading the app, giving it, which helps them. So it
So
should
what
be
would-
illegal.
What would your
No.
ex say about you, everybody?
That was fabulous. Fabulous.
They
I
would
wanna
say,
talk
where can I
about
find him? Because I love him so much, and he was like the best I ever had.
All right, y'all. So real quick before we get out of hot topics, so we always tell you guys to email us any stories or anything that you want us to discuss. So I got 3 quick stories that we're going to try to go over from some of our viewers out there. The first one is this woman Gail Newland, and it's posted on the Daily Mail. I'd rather have been raped by a man, says a woman who was sexually assaulted by a female friend who used bandages and sex toys to pretend that she was a guy. So the bullet points: Gail Newland is said to have posed as a man online to befriend a woman. University students later had sex in a hotel and a flat in Chester. She allegedly bound her chest and Willie had to disguise her appearance, as well as a penis. She had a dildo.
She had a strap on.
The alleged victim today said she would rather have been raped by a man. Newland denies the 5 counts of sexual assault that she is now being charged with.
I'm not going to judge anything the victim says because that's just like the most unique, fucked up situation.
This is the
Did
part
you
that gets me.
read the-
So they had a sexual
there's
encounter.
There's more.
They had one sexual encounter, and then the next time the guy girl convinced her to blindfold.
No, both times.
Both
she was
times.
like,
Both
she,
times?
Second
she
time
chose
she
to
took
take
it
off.
off.
The
the
second time she took it off.
Yeah.
And that's when she realized.
But that's not the.
But that's like
the
you
sickest
can't
part.
you can't
But that's
understand
not
this
the
in bullet
sickest
points.
part.
This thing is so fucking
The
complicated.
sickest part is that the chick was coming back as a chick befriending her.
Yes, and they connected over
The guy.
The guy,
who didn't exist. This story is so
That's like
fucked
extreme
up.
catfish. That needs to be
That's
like on
extreme.
extreme catfish.
I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that shit. She knew. Like, I
I think she knew.
I don't buy into that.
She
no.
knew something was wrong.
No. Like, you just don't.
But if
let
somebody tells
somebody-
you that though, like
Yeah,
yes,
because like there was so
she's
many
not
things
right.
that there was so many
She's not
stipulations. Like she put herself out there as this guy who was a cancer victim whose body was deformed from treatments.
Yes.
So she was trying to be respectful by blindfolding herself, by not touching certain areas. You know, I know.
But if a man tells me I can't touch his penis, I'm out of there.
I'm not saying
I
she's
need
an
to see
idiot
it.
for participating.
She's an idiot,
but
because you
she's a
told me-
victim.
no,
She's
if
a
you
victim.
told me all this about you, this accident,
a victim
and I'm
of
still conversing with
stupidity.
you, then that means I'm mature enough to look at you and see, past whatever.
But maybe
your
somebody
quote
doesn't feel
unquote.
comfortable. You've never had a person that just
Yeah.
isn't good with the lights on.
I mean, no matter how dumb it was for her to participate,
see
she
your
is
face.
the victim is a
Me
victim.
too.
She was
I need
victimized.
to see you before I'm gonna have sex
Well,
with
no,
you.
was
like,
victimized.
no. Like,
Can we at
victimized.
least agree on that? I need
Just
to
like these
see
catfish-
you.
I would never be in this situation
These
ever.
catfish people are victims.
Yeah.
Stupid victims,
Yeah.
maybe,
Logic,
but
maybe.
still
Yeah.
victims nonetheless.
I don't buy that victim stuff all the time. I feel like, I
This
don't
is
buy
what I
that
don't
victim
buy the
shit.
victim story.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
buy the
I
victim
absolutely
shit
do.
at all. Like,
I absolutely
You two
do.
in
that's
the middle
good.
here.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
My
good.
guy.
But like,
Yeah,
nah,
we agree.
It's just too many things wrong with that story, And she says in the article that she knew something wasn't right.
The second
wait,
time.
wait.
That's why she took the
So
blindfold
it was
off. The
so
second
good
time.
the first time.
It wasn't.
dildo.
She didn't say it was. She didn't say it was good. She
She
didn't
came
say
back
it
for
was good.
seconds.
She did.
If it was
Have you
bad,
never come back for seconds?
not if it was bad.
Well, us women have to give
Please
it a second
email
go
if
around.
he's come back for
Sometimes.
seconds and he shouldn't have.
Not
Sometimes,
if it was
sometimes.
bad.
No,
I'll come back
as
for
a
seconds
woman,
if it's bad.
as a
If it's
woman,
bad,
Yeah, because
okay, I guess it's a scale
it's
of
my
bad.
ego. I want to
Isn't it? If it's
She
if it's
admitted that
okay,
she admitted that she was not smart in doing this and that she was probably desperate
Right.
for love.
Really not smart.
But she's still a
but
victim.
that doesn't make her not a victim.
She is a victim.
Okay, sure.
Because
Yeah.
I think people deny things in their head sometimes. You know what I mean?
That doesn't. If,
I
but
think-
it's
But it
still
doesn't
the fact
matter.
that the
I think-
fact
wait,
that
it
the chick
doesn't
bound
matter
her
'cause someone
chest and
convinced
used
her.
That's
she bound her
so
chest
much.
and used a
Let me
dildo.
tell you- let me
She
tell
was
you-
trying to trick her,
There
whether
was
it worked, whether
so
it didn't
much
work.
deception.
It's deception, and
There was so much deception.
All right,
violating.
Let me say this because it's just like some of these situations that I believe happen with Cosby. I think sometimes you do things
I agree.
and you look back at it, and instead of accepting that I did this crazy shit or I put myself in this crazy effed up situation, it's easy to say that I'm a victim and you did this to me.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree that there are moments of that. I don't think this is it, that this is
Right.
one.
If you got slipped a pill or slipped something,
I mean, they
yes.
have conversations. There's the fact that this woman friended her based on this fictitious guy that they knew in common that she actually was. I mean, this is. I'm surprised it's just sexual assault. I mean, to me, this is all rape.
Counts as sexual assault.
Yeah, to me, this
but
is
for the
just
girl,
straight
it's like,
up
I'd rather
rape.
be raped by a
Blind
guy.
for
I think-
yourself.
Yeah,
You just
but
turn
I'm
the
not going to
lights off?
judge anything. This is so fucked up. I'm not going to judge anything she says. Like, I don't know what would go through my head if I was in this situation. I'm not going to judge anything she says.
All right,
I would be like, just turn the lights off. Don't blindfold me. Turn the light. Like,
Well, you need more
I
than
need
the
to see-
lights
I
off
need
to
to
So that's
see a
what
bad
you would
check.
I
do.
need
You
to
would
see a
not find
body.
yourself in this
I need to
situation.
see
You're not.
I'm
You
sorry. I
don't.
need
You
to
know.
get a full.
But that's
360
you.
scope.
But,
Don't
that's,
touch me
but,
here.
but a lot of women
Are that desperate?
no, not even that desperate. But a lot of women have body issues themselves and don't want lights on and rather not participate. Not me.
Okay.
who says
But I'm
don't
just
touch
saying.
my body?
Right. You can have sex.
That's like
a
sex 101.
blowjob.
Like, who
Something
says
is going
I'm not going to argue it's stupid, but I will.
But that doesn't mean
Don't
she's not a
touch
victim.
Never stop fighting that this woman is a victim.
That's good. Good for you. You're going
All
to go
right,
straight to
so
heaven with that.
next story that we got sent, the headline: man who admitted to the police he killed and disemboweled his girlfriend after she called out her ex's name during sex pleads not guilty to her murder. So Fidel Lopez, 24, from Florida, told police he became enraged when his girlfriend Maria invoked her ex's name during sex twice. Criminal complaint says that Lopez
The second time
shoved,
did it.
now this is kind of graphic, shoved a beer bottle, a hair iron, and both of his fists inside the woman's sex organs while she was unconscious. Lopez told police during an interview that he became a monster. He initially lied to police that it was Maria who made him insert foreign objects into her. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I read about this story like weeks ago, and like I like cringed the whole time. I mean, this is a disgusting, disturbing story.
Don't love me that much.
I'd have been in some freaky shit, but I ain't never heard a chick say, shove this pressing iron.
Yeah,
He
well, that
lost
he
it
ripped out.
because-
He reached into her orifice and ripped out her intestines.
Oh my god!
Like
some ego
that's how do you say
That's
you
some
ever
ego
loved
shit.
someone
So
if you
wait,
can
so-
do that to? I couldn't even do that to someone I absolutely hated.
Have any of y'all ever called out your exes or just somebody the wrong name during sex?
No.
No,
No.
not
No.
during sex.
Somebody at the end laughing.
I told you the cure for that.
Don't
You
go
always
with-
say babe, boo, honey,
I'm gonna take that
sugar,
on. Let me take that on.
honey, baby,
Right. Just something.
names. No. Don't use names.
You might close your eyes and forget where you at.
That's a
Hello.
good one. That's a good one. I need to find
Baby.
that. Yeah.
Baby.
Maybe. All right, you guys. So that's gonna do it for Hot Topics today. We're gonna take a really, really quick break, and we'll be right back with viewer questions.
Everybody is on. Shots, 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 shots. Everybody! Shots, 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 shots.
All
All right, and we are back, you guys. Now it is time for viewer questions.
My favorite
part of the show. This is the best part of the show.
I
So,
love this.
you guys remember, email us your viewer questions,
I'm
anything,
scared.
relationship, dating advice, tacotalktuesday@gmail.com, and we will do our best to help you guys out. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
First question. Hey, Taco Talk Tuesday. Love the show. Oh, thank you. So, need some advice. I had the perfect work-wife situation. Keyword being had. I've been working at my telecom job for about 5 years, and for 3 of those years, I've had the pleasure of working with, I'm going to call her Cindy. She's super cool, smart, and attractive. Perfect work-wife situation as I have the same qualities and more with my real at-home wife. Cindy, most importantly, does all my work and gives me all the credit. She has single-handedly got me promoted twice and out of some constant jams. It is not one-sided. Of course, I provide with typical work husband duties such as male perspective and what goes on in her real relationship with her real husband, which isn't always pretty. Cindy recently separated from her real husband and has crossed the line in the area of work wife as she touches and sends inappropriate text messages, including pictures and videos. On one hand, I need her to stop because I would never leave my wife, but on the other hand, she does everything for me at work. What should I do?
Just gotta stop it. I mean, that he had it figured out. He's like, on one hand, I know I have to stop it. You already know what you have to do. You don't need to email us.
I find issue with this whole work husband, work wife
Yeah, that-
situation.
the whole
in
terminology is
any
fucked up.
Way.
I agree. You gotta stop calling her that.
Yeah.
Right. First of all.
I think he done already crossed over.
So
I think he done
It's
crossed to the
got-
dark
if
side.
her job is
He
to
done off the
help
fence.
you at work, then
Yeah.
she'll help you. Continue to help you at work because
She's
it's an
like
inappropriate
doing
work
his
relationship.
job. Like,
Yeah.
But I feel
Well, I
like
guess if that's
he's-
it, then do your fucking job. You're
But I
getting
feel
paid.
like he's probably done something kind of inappropriate already.
to let her feel.
I
To
mean,
let her
she's,
feel
if
that
she's
way.
going through
Yeah.
a divorce right now,
Yeah.
she's probably in an emotional, needy place,
agree.
and you should not be taking. You
That's
know,
what
you
he's trying,
should
he's trying
not.
to avoid taking
And he,
advantage
but
of
he
her.
needs,
Exactly.
No, but
So
he
you
needs
need to
set
be
her
clear
straight.
with her.
He needs to
Exactly.
set her straight and
Yeah.
say, I know you're going through this. I know it's a rough time, and I understand what we share and here at work, but sweetie, this isn't real.
You're being a friend to do that, and if she doesn't understand that, well, then that's on her.
It seems like she fulfills some type of ego
It
thing
does.
or
She definitely
like
does.
validation for this guy at work that maybe he doesn't get at home.
It's
you
not
know?
about. It's
Yeah.
not about.
I
her,
mean,
it's
he
about
did.
him.
He did say the whole thing of he relates to her more than his wife or something like that.
Which-
And like
which-
I thought the
which-
Because he has the same.
I thought the
qualities
email was
as-
good.
the same qualities as his
Oh, the
real.
same.
Oh.
Okay, that's still a little weird. I thought this email. I thought this email was gonna go in a very different direction.
And I'm sure that he's told her this.
Yeah.
So you
So
can't.
everybody
Behave
agrees
yourself.
he needs to end the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, you gotta-
work-wife situation.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he's got a crush too, though.
It'll be a
Right.
yeah.
I think he's got
Right.
a crush.
It does sound like it. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
sound like it. And
He said I would never leave my wife for her. He's writing in
They
to
always
say,
say that.
He's writing to say
Most
he
cheaters
wants-
don't
that
leave
she's
their
sending
wife.
inappropriate.
They always say that,
But
right?
he said that she's sending inappropriate, things.
Yeah.
They're right. I don't know.
it's gonna be a weird conversation, but you gotta have it.
You have to.
You have to.
She's gonna end up at your front door.
Yeah. It's not gonna get
Then
better.
what?
It's gonna get worse.
She gonna be a side
So-
piece. He
Right.
ain't gonna leave his wife,
In the,
Right,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna be bad at work. Just end
and
it.
she gonna become like Lynn Whitfield in that movie.
And
right?
note
Then
to
love
self:
between love and hate.
no more work wives.
Right. Somebody get
Nah.
this.
It's such a
invalid
that's
there.
You
weird
don't trust
terminology.
nobody as nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you're married, you don't say you my something wife. It's like it's
Yeah.
Right.
No,
You're my
It's
workout
not the
wife.
first time I've heard that terminology
Me
before,
too.
but it is
You
weird.
don't do
It's
it.
very weird.
It's weird. It's,
Not in the relationship. Not in the
Not
marriage.
if you're married.
Not in the
So I
marriage,
guess
no.
that's a great segue to the next question. Subject: we fight because he lies and cheats.
oh.
I've been with my fiance for 6 years, but for the past
There you go.
so
6 years.
I've been with my fiance for 6 years,
You don't have to speak.
but for about the past 2 years, we've been very unhappy. We have issues and problems that have been going on, and have yet to really we have failed to bring them to each other's attention, except when we fight. Along with all of this, my fiance has been cheating on me for about a year and a half and has continuously lied me about it. I found all kinds of proof over this time period, and each time that I confronted him about this, he said he was not seeing her. This has been the most of our argument.
Yep.
This has been what most of our arguments have been about lately. And during these times is when he throws something in my face about why he is not happy. I finally caught him with this other woman, and he is
Really?
and he's finally being honest about it. Okay.
What should I
But
do?
The questions, and it's questions with the S. So the questions I have are, where do we go from here? Hold on, we got a list. Where do we go from here? How do I get past something like this? Will the relationship survive? Will the relationship survive if we work on it with some help from an outside perspective? He said that he really wants to work on our relationship, and that if whatever we try does not work, then at least we can say we tried. I need some direction here. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry they're laughing at you because
I'm not laughing at you.
the
situation. Here's the problem. Okay, so you mentioned your first problem. So I'm gonna rewind and help you find your first problem. Your first problem is that you were engaged for 6 years.
Well, she said she was with him. I don't know if it was engaged.
Okay.
So it might have been boyfriend.
But if you're boyfriend, girlfriend for 6 years at a certain age,
it might have been a break.
I don't know, because like I have some good friends that they've been together 14 years. They just don't believe in the marriage.
You're engaged though. But you're engaged, so that's what you're trying to do is get married.
They're now engaged.
Well, I mean, no. Okay, these
people.
So yes.
These people are clearly. I understand that if
Yeah.
both people are like, oh, I don't want to get married.
Oh yeah, you never get engaged.
Then that's fine. But for all these people that are like, oh, I've been with my boyfriend 10 years, he's amazing. I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years, or normally it's like that. And you're just like, well, are you guys gonna get married one day? No, you're not.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like.
Yeah.
Your problem started a long time ago.
Well, my issue is like, it'd be one thing if she wanted to say that if it was like he was drunk once and made a mistake. But she said he's been cheating for a year
and a half.
He's not gonna stop.
But you're not gonna leave, so it's okay.
I mean, that's what you're gonna have to accept.
If
you're not gonna leave, he's not gonna stop.
Ask her if she wants to be a sister wife.
Yeah.
There you go.
First of all, he hadn't been cheating for a year and a half. He's been cheating a lot longer. You just found out.
Right, you just found out.
He just got sloppy. I guess he got tired.
It seems like you want to accept it.
What always happen? He gets sloppy.
He just got sloppy. He got sloppy because he thought it was okay to get sloppy because he felt like you found out a year and a half ago. You still stuck around.
You gotta respect yourself.
So he was like, why am I doing all this extra shit?
But it seems like she wants to accept it, so accept it.
I mean, if you had evidence, I don't know what it was, but if you had actual evidence that he cheated and he was still denying it and then he didn't admit it until you walked in on him.
Move her in.
I guess if you're into that, that would remedy the situation. If
you get to keep him,
but you have to keep her.
I say
somebody share chores.
So advice to this young lady is Lodrick,
get some self-esteem.
Brandy,
just stay, girl. Invite her in and move over. Just move her in.
Help yourself. Move on. You can't help the relationship.
She doesn't want to leave though.
She doesn't
want to leave, but she doesn't want this. She doesn't want this. She doesn't.
She needs to figure out what she's willing to.
You got to start your life. Move on.
Sister wife.
This guy's been getting away with it. He's not gonna. He's not gonna stop.
That's what he's not.
He's not gonna stop. So unless you can learn to love it.
Call her and ask her what she's been doing, so you can do it too.
Oh goodness!
All right.
Maybe I'm being insensitive about this because it kind of annoys me. But I realize there's a real person on the other end of this. But I think if you're looking for marriage from this cat, you're probably not going to find it, especially after 6 years.
Not good marriage.
And I can guarantee he's probably been cheating a lot longer than that. You got to find something inner within to appreciate yourself better.
It doesn't take 6 years to figure it out.
All right, you guys want to do one more, or are you ready to move on?
Bring it on.
Oh, right, I love these. So
let's keep doing it. We had a wicked fight subject. I met my soulmate. We've been together nearly 3 years and have a baby boy. We've had several issues, and we're finally stable in our new home. She wanted to be married from the start, especially after the baby. We planned several times, but timing and finances has not allowed us a level of comfort to be married. She currently is packing. From a wicked fight. I'm extremely committed and I love her deeply and tell her we will be married, just waiting for a more appropriate time, resolve some finances, stability, etc. Additionally, she is fixated on me getting back with my ex, which after many arguments is getting tiresome, and I'm resenting the accusations. She gave me an ultimatum, and I still believe that later this year would be better.
Oh, later this year is completely reasonable
to get married. Yeah.
Did you think it through before you had the baby? Did you think like, oh, we're not ready before you had the baby?
But is her this one is her accusing him, and he's like,
Yeah.
No,
and plus
marry
later
her.
this year is very reasonable. And
Marry
I
her.
think it's very smart of him to think about, just get married just to get married.
You had the baby.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like
if
they're not
they
looking
live together. If they live
It
together,
doesn't sound like the baby was planned.
but it
exactly.
doesn't- If you did not plan to do it, it's planned.
What?
But anyway,
It wasn't planned on his
Here's
part.
my issue.
It
It's
was
like it
planned
doesn't
as long
sound
as
like
it was letting them
she's
on.
okay. It doesn't sound like it's just okay for them to go get a marriage certificate, go to the courthouse, and be legally married. It sounds like they want to have a wedding.
He wants,
or
That's
at least
two
it's
different
important to
things.
him. Exactly. And so later this year is completely reasonable. That
He
you can
didn't-
rate,
he
you
didn't
can
say
you can earn a lot of.
but she's
He
pushing
didn't
it.
say a
She's
wedding.
but
that's what okay, that's
propose
what
the
I'm assuming.
courthouse
Makes
then.
sense.
Propose
Okay,
the
there you
courthouse.
go.
If that's the
So
issue,
propose
then
the
go to the
courthouse.
courthouse and get
Propose the
married. If that's
courthouse. The
what's
JLP.
stopping you. But
Go
if
to
it's
the
a,
JLP.
if it's having a wedding, then I
But
think.
why would you want to marry her? She's accusing you of still wanting to be with your ex right now.
Well,
so.
they do have a kid
Well,
together.
But so that's the
But
reason
that's-
to get married.
No.
No.
But it's not
I'm
a
just saying
reason
it's
not
a
to
reason
get
to
married
think about
either.
it.
Oh,
It's a reason
yeah,
to think about it, but it's not a reason to get married.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I feel like it.
I agree. I respect this guy's decision because it's a strategic thing, and he says I need to get things
How
right with
strategic is he
myself.
if there was an accidental
Later this
pregnancy?
year
I need
is
to
so
get
How
reasonable.
strategic
Outside
was
of that, he
it?
But
said,
that's on her too.
I need to get
How
myself
strategic-
right. I need to
That's
get my
a-
finances right. I need to get all this
But
right.
did you
before we
think about
combine
that
the two.
before you had a kid?
Accidental
Because
pregnancy is a
accidents
team
don't
It was an
effort.
accident.
It's an
wasn't.
accident.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
There's
planned.
so,
Unplanned
was
pregnancy is
it
a team
planned during
effort.
the fourth pump or the fifth pump or?
But did he say
But
it was
that's
planned?
still on both of them.
That's
That's
on
on both
yeah,
of
that's
them.
on-
It is definitely, but
so
that's,
she shouldn't pressure him to marry her because they both were a part of this. I hate to call it this accidental child.
And the whole thing of,
But that's
of
what
her,
women do.
but if not this
Women,
one.
well, not,
She
I mean,
want-
I don't want to
she
generalize.
want him to marry-
But
Go ahead,
we don't
I'm
grow
sorry.
up. We don't grow up playing house. We don't grow up with the idea of forming a home and waiting
just
for
grow
someone
up
to come home. We don't like
spreading
men
it
don't
all
do
over
that.
the place.
Women specifically, they get houses, baby dolls. They put these two baby dolls in this house, and they have this world that exists from the early age
I
of
agree.
like 2, 3 about this home that you create, you provide for, you get married, you do this. Like men don't do that. We get married out of like rational.
Wait, it was like,
I
enjoying everything.
And I'm not generalizing, but the majority of men don't. Honestly, the
Is there a
majority of men-
delay?
No, women. They need to know that the majority of men don't process marriage. Men typically don't process marriage.
we are
the way
raised
women
to
do.
understand marriage differently.
Much
I'll agree with that, or what a relationship
We're not
is.
groomed
I'll agree on that.
from like an early age for marriage. It's something that happens when we are ready. You know?
If he doesn't want to marry her, don't marry her.
I just think, but they both have
Then
the
what are we
child
arguing
unplanned. She is wanting him to marry her, but she's also yelling at him about still being in love with his ex.
And I don't think an ultimatum is ever something
Right.
is never
An
a healthy
ultimatum
thing.
is
It's
an
never a
ultimatum.
healthy
I'm
thing
not
to do.
saying
So
that. It's
if there's
not.
never an ultimatum is never healthy. So she should either move on
But this
or understand that you're not
advice
going to
is
get.
to him.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
the
saying.
advice is to him, so he
I'm
should-
saying she is. I'm talking to the guy. I mean, I'm like, she's not right in giving you an ultimatum. But if
But
that's
you-
what's important to her is getting married,
Don't.
If the only reason is because you feel like you're not where you want to be financially, I don't see where, if you all live together, you have this child, and you're already knee deep in it, and your only reason is finances,
Finances,
you're
yes, stability.
you're up to your nose in it anyway.
No,
You're
you're not
here.
doing it until you are ready, brother.
I feel like if her expectation is
I need
to
to
be.
know, do they currently live
That's
together?
what I need to know.
Do y'all currently live together?
Well, and I want to know what the definition of being married is, because if it's just being
JLP?
legally married, if it's just being legally married, going to the courthouse, then what is a couple months for? But if it's having a wedding where your family comes and you spend money, I get that
I understand
later this
that.
month.
I understand
So
that.
that's where
Later
I
this
really,
month, he must
you know.
be about to get his bonus or something.
Yeah.
That he can do it this month.
That's called
But if it's
buying
just
time.
going to the courthouse, then go get married.
No,
buying
do
time.
not.
It's
I'm
buying
telling you, do not, because you're gonna wake up one day and feel
Listen,
forced
well,
into
I
that
guess
situation,
I don't understand
if you
and there's
don't
gonna be
marry her,
resentment. Don't do it until you're ready.
if you don't
bro.
marry her, leave her because you don't want her anyway.
All
Let's
right.
move on.
Y'all gonna be bonded together because of the kid anyway.
It's
So
true.
thank you guys for
True.
for those questions. You guys remember you can email us anytime.
Sorry.
TacoTalkTuesday@gmail.com. We will do our best to help you out. So you guys, a quick break and we'll be right back to let you know what we are obsessed with. right, you guys. So we are back. Now is the part of the show where we like to let you guys know what we're thinking and love to tell you guys what we are obsessed with. So we're gonna start at the end and bring it on back.
My obsession is, it's transformed. When I was a kid, I used to love to hang out in Louisiana at Super Walmart. I don't know why, because it was the only thing to do. But now my obsession is hanging out at Home Depot.
Really?
I like to build stuff, and I like to go there and just look at the aisles. I know, right? I just look at I don't go there to buy anything sometimes. Sometimes I find myself just looking at the aisles like, what can I create today? This is interesting.
I always tell women that's where the place to be is.
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Yeah, it's my new obsession.
Homeowners.
Oh, okay. Cool. Brandy?
Me? My turn? I struggled with this one. My obsession is, so I recently saw this meme of Michelle and President Obama. An old picture of them and a new picture of them. And the old picture basically side by side with the new picture where he's president. In the old picture, they were like young and in love. And the caption was something like, ladies, stick by your man and eventually one day he'll give you the world.
This sounds like a Reed obsession.
First of all, they were in law school at Harvard when this occurred. He was not the sir on the block. You didn't have to write. I'm not saying that she wasn't a strong woman for him or she didn't, hold him up in his time of need. But his time of need was not at the county jail. It was not in the food stamp line. It was in none of the above. It was Harvard Law. So it's the whole ride or die chick. Where are we going? Why I gotta die? Will there be food there? Why?
All right. Ben?
I did not put thought into what I'm obsessed with this week. So this kind of goes back to 2 weeks ago. You're probably going to make fun of me again. But this Sunday at the Staples Center, so excited, WWE's Hell in a Cell. I'm going with my sister. Don't have tickets yet, though.
Ben is trying to revive a lost culture.
It's not. I feel like most comedians watch wrestling, which is a weird thing. I don't entirely understand.
I
loved it when it was WWF.
WWF, yeah.
But
I grew up with it.
Well, the World Wildlife Federation gave him
Wildlife Federation.
Yeah, World Wildlife Federation gave the World Wrestling Federation a cease and desist, and that's why they became
after all
World
those
Wrestling
years?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always wonder why they changed it.
Yeah, it's because they got a cease and desist from the other WWF. The one that was a cause.
I hate those causes.
Yeah.
Always messing stuff up.
Pandas. Fuck pandas and not letting animals go extinct. Let them die. Fuck them.
Just rename it.
Yeah.
The WWF.
Oh my God! Did you all speak of that? Did you see the? I think it was the white tiger that they were inbreeding them because they were about to become extinct. So they started inbreeding white tiger. And one was born with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Google it. It's a white tiger with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Y'all have to Google it.
Well, that tiger died.
It did die.
It did die.
3 legs.
No, it looked slow.
Yeah.
Like Corky.
There's so many insensitive things I can say about that.
Okay, so what I am obsessed with this week. So I saw this video over the weekend. It's hilarious to me. Have you guys seen on Instagram, Vine, or anything? The little girl who had the funeral for her goldfish.
Yes, and she was singing Fetty Wap.
She was singing Fetty Wap 679, y'all. So I'm obsessed with this. I got the video for you guys.
Yeah, she's fine. Wonder when she'll be what she was like and says we want to see that part one more time and we got the soda and the girls they know us. Oh, that's why they know us. Yeah, baby.
Terrible people for laughing.
She was legitimately
serious.
crying real
She was
tears.
sad.
She was so sad her goldfish died.
Fetty Wap.
Roger, you look stuck.
I ain't saying nothing. Yeah. Who is her mama?
Who? What in those lyrics of 679?
She didn't just learn that. Somebody
What in those lyrics makes you want to sing that at a funeral and makes you want to let your child sing?
People grieve in different ways. You can't judge how people grieve.
They grieve and Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap.
Like,
grief is grief.
All right, Fetty Wap. Well, that's my obsession for the week.
Have you ever seen that
When
video?
I die, sing Fetty Wap.
Sing Fetty Wap.
Have you ever seen that video with the man at the funeral with the dove?
Yes.
And with he throws it and it just goes straight to the ground. Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for being here. So real quick, let everybody know where they can find you. If you have anything coming up, whatever.
That's not that.
Go ahead. Benji.
Oh, me. We're starting with me. You can find me on all forms of social media at the Ben Kaplan, except for not Instagram, Snapchat, because I originally wanted to be private. If you really want to find me there, it's BJONK. But I don't do much with it. And then this Thursday at Base Camp at the brewery, throwing a big ass party for a fundraiser for a feature film I'm doing. $20 gets you access to an open bar.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Get your ass there.
All
All
right.
right. Brandy, Be Chic 02, that's CHIC, and yes, it's chic. It's not chick. It is not chick. It is Be Chic 02, and that is Twitter, Instagram, and I believe Periscope too, but I don't Periscope. Instagram.
You gotta start Periscope.
Yeah, I
you
know.
so gotta
I know. I
Periscope.
have an account. I just don't use it. Oh, Snapchat too. Be Chic 02. BCHIC 02.
Brandy B chick.
Chic.
Lodric.com, LODRIC. You can go to Lodric D for Twitter, Lodric D Collins on Facebook, and Poster Boy 17 on Instagram.
And y'all can find me everything at Jeffro5. Reach me at Taco Talk Tuesday on all forms of social media. Again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, email us questions, hot topics, tacotalktuesday@gmail.com, and we will catch you guys next week.